It's Java Snapshot and Bedrock Preview Day, and this is an important one because this is the end of the Spring Drop update, and what they've decided to focus on is incredibly interesting because as well as the bug fixes we expect, they've also gone for parity as the big focus, and so fallen trees have come to Java, although they're missing one very important thing, and seemingly hinting something else entirely in the background there. What is the deal with that, and why is this Bedrock change so transformational? Let's explain all of that and everything that Minecraft have announced today, starting with the Java edition, where I've loaded up a world, and it's going to be a fun game. How quickly can I find a brand new fallen tree? Wait, I might have found one already. I don't know if one block counts, but let's see how fast we can find one of these brand new features, because we are in the closing stage of the update now, and so while Bedrock mostly focuses on bug fixing, outside of that big controversial change, while Bedrock focuses on bug fixing, the Java edition has decided to add some parity, and that includes the fallen tree. Again, I'm not sure this counts as one. Yeah, there's just a lot of trees that have a single log. Is that what they meant when they said fallen tree? Hey, I found one! Never mind. Okay, so fallen trees are a rare type of tree that currently can be found on Bedrock and have been possible since 0.9, but have not been on the Java edition of the game, but now they are. That is most of the changelog, honestly. They made two other smaller changes. One was to make firefly bushes spawn in mangrove swamps, like they currently do on Bedrock, and also in the mesa biomes, rarely, which is very interesting, and the others is to make leaf litter a replaceable block, which is to say, like grass, if we place something down on top of it, it will replace the leaves rather than doing anything else with it or going on top of them. This is a great change, and is about what you expect from it, but that is the entirety of the Java snapshot. So my response to this snapshot would obviously be the logical, well, if all of these Bedrock features are coming to Java, what about the reverse? But if we leave that to the side for now, I do think it's interesting that Java has finally gotten fallen trees. It's a nice piece of ambience a lot of people like, so it fits into this update well, but if they're adding those trees anyway, why didn't they also add the disease trees, sometimes called the dead trees, but the trees covered in vines? This is another Bedrock feature that does add a little bit of life and variance to your world, and so why not have these at the same time? I don't know if there's a great answer to that, but what I do know is that they promoted this snapshot using this screenshot right here, which has something very, very interesting in the background. I've moved it into Paint here so we can zoom in and show you, because if we zoom and enhance, you can see there's something strange over there. Is it a trapdoor? Is it something else entirely? I think the answer, it's very easy to speculate, but I think the answer is, if it's something that's not in the snapshot, you can almost always be certain that some weird photo editing has gone down at Minecraft. I don't know what it is, but the screenshots, which should probably just be pictures of the games, almost never seem to be, and for the easiest example of this, let's go to a preview from a couple of weeks ago. They very clearly just put this picture of a wandering trader on there. I don't know why they do these things. Whoever edits the photos for the previews and snapshots seems to have weird decisions, but speaking of betas and previews, let's talk about this one. I think this is a really, really big deal, but the first one here is enabled earning achievements while playing in a world with add-ons applied. I cannot believe they've just decided to mic drop this in the last preview, potentially, of the update. This means that you'll be able to play with any add-on, and it won't affect your achievement status. That is huge, and let's be frank here, entirely transformational to the way that Minecraft is going to be treated, at least on the Bedrock version. You'll be able to download things as far-flung as blasters, or maybe not so far-flung like farming, or new mobs, maybe even bosses, hint hint. That's right, if you want to take your Aetherbolt blaster and use it to shoot my mega silverfish, this will soon be a valid piece of vanilla gameplay where you'll be able to earn achievements based on your accomplishments, which, I don't see any issue with this at all, actually. This is going to change everything. I think it goes without saying. But yeah, this is a huge change by itself, perhaps one of the biggest ones, but they have made other changes too. My god, this is loud. I don't put it lightly when I say that's probably the biggest change in not just this beta and preview, but perhaps this update as a whole. But yeah, this beta and preview has been filled with lots of bug fixes, but also filled with some interesting decisions, such as that to make the cactus flower have the same hitbox as the cactus itself. This kind of makes sense on one level, you could argue, because it's a flower version of this, but it is them deliberately making it much larger so you can break the block even when you're not directly looking at the flower. I like this change, I think it's great for both accessibility, but also just it makes it easier to break certain things that kind of take up a whole block. But yeah, it has a very interesting effect on the size of cactuses when they have flowers on top. Also, there is an interesting change they've made to flower pots. This is to fix it. They previously apparently had very overly stretched textures when you put flowers in them, but now this will be no longer, and you can have regular looking flowers. That's nice, I guess. Also, there was a wildflower stray pixel. I'm only referencing this bug fix because they reference underneath it that the wildflower item texture was very with 5 Ys. It's hilarious to see us in a changelog slightly offset compared to Java, and now they fixed it. This is the same between Bedrock and Java, which is nice. Also, something very interesting is they've decided to change leaf litter to give it biome-based tinting. So this is what leaf litter looks like in most biomes you'll find, more or less, but if we bring it into the pale garden, as you know I want to, this is a very grey biome, and so when we put the leaf litter down, it goes grey, which is just wonderful. They added this to Java last week. They also took away the new variety of sheep spawning in certain biomes, for the most part last week from Java, and now they've done that to Bedrock, and so I think that means this is a good sign that we are going to get to the end of this update, and no unique sheep variants besides the different colours will come, which is a very, very interesting cool. Also, a more positive interesting cool, if we're talking about transformational changes, has to be the fact that wandering traders can now buy twice before they lock their trades, but instead of only once. Also, don't ask why my hand is so big. I really don't know. I don't understand what's happened here. But yeah, let's go to my friend that I've just punched over here. He's a very good friend of mine, and he will buy things from me when he knows that I'm feeling down. So 1 hay bale for 1 emerald is a great trade for challenge worlds, and now being able to do it twice instead of once means I can buy both, I don't know, logs and some melon seeds, and that of course makes a huge difference to any challenge world. In particular, if you're playing one with very few resources, now the Wandering Trader will work better, which means I can finally decide to grow myself some melons, or indeed build myself a tree with my brand new found resources. But more seriously, I'm playing Igloo Survivor right now, surviving above Y200 only. It's been a lot of fun. It's taking a couple week of a break, by the way, but I love the fact that challenges like this will be made more possible, and that includes hardcore superflats, which I can't stress enough is one of the biggest reasons I'm excited for this update. So yeah, they have made lots of other changes. One of the most notable, if you play on mobile, is that filter profanity will be toggleable on mobile platforms. But there's something fun they've also done. They've applied the profanity filter to every part of the game, meaning if you go through the menus, you might find that some of the guide that Minecraft have written for the game is in fact filtered profanity, and so you cannot read what it says there. But also, you can read that this message is filtered. This is one of the loading screen tooltips. I got it while working on this video, and I realized it's because it says turning off your device, which is the equivalent of saying F you, and why does Minecraft filter saying F you, first of all? But second of all, isn't it hilarious? Yes, the answer is it is very hilarious. So what else have Minecraft been up to recently, huh? Well, they posted this video on their TikTok, and well... yeah. And also, they posted a Minecraft movie website teaser, which is, you can go to at minecraftmovie.com, and just to give credit to this website, I want to say that this was something I found from a Phoenix video. Apparently, someone bought the minecraftmovie.com domain, and they're not particularly happy of the Minecraft movie, so it's got Hatsune Miku, as well as give me $1 billion, or the domain name gets it. And then stop doing a Minecraft movie. Sandbox games were not supposed to be given film adaptations, and a very fun, silly little rant right here. You love to see someone buying a domain of incredibly high value and using it to make whatever this is, but that is what Crank, a musical artist, has apparently done, and I just figured I'd share this because I thought this was too fun not to. But yeah, I think this is potentially the last preview of this update. I would suspect we will see another one next week, and that will be the actual final one. In the same way that Java has its pre-releases and then it has its release candidates, those release candidates focus on stability. I would suspect we see a stability beta and preview next week, week, and based on what we learn from that, we'll know when the update is coming out. Why is that? Because there is a pretty fixed certification period where Minecraft has to send their update out before, millions of people get to download it with all of the platforms, and that certification period is at least a couple of weeks. And so if they sent it to certification today, well, it could be out in the first half of March, hypothetically. But if that period was to start next week, it would tell us it would probably be closer towards the end, maybe even the last Tuesday in March, that we should expect to see the spring drop. And so when is the spring drop coming out? Pretty darn soon. But yeah, now that we've mentioned the big thing there, I think the much more crucial piece of information to do with this preview is the fact that kind of close to the end here, they've decided to make this huge change to achievements and add-ons, and it's one that I think is more positive than negative, and so I'll lay my biases on the line. I did just release an add-on last week. It's been very, very well received. A lot of people do like the idea of vanilla-style bosses, and I am glad about that. But yeah, it's been interesting that, so the biggest reviewer, Echo, really enjoyed it. The second biggest reviewer, Bedrock Princess, as best I could tell, they do a tier list every week for the add-ons that come out, and they're pretty fair usually, saying when things are C or D or E. But this week, as you can see, they put the boss blitz at the top of their tier list, which I thought was really cool, that everyone has been enjoying this, even well outside the channel and outside of people who know it on YouTube. And so I want to just mention that obviously I have an interest in saying, yeah, just apply add-ons to your Minecraft world, especially boss blitz TM, but I would still say that Minecraft should be very careful about doing this. One of the biggest reasons as to why is probably the fact that, yeah, they ultimately are going to be changing the landscape forever, so I would say it should be enabled or disabled on a pack-by-pack basis. Some packs will make it easier to slay the Ender Dragon, like guns, for example, so keep that in mind, first of all. And second of all, I would say that as a end user, you should be cautious about applying these to your world, yes, even the ones that I make, because crucially, an add-on is going to be making your world semi-permanently, you could say permanently, but let's just say semi-permanently not vanilla, and so it's kind of like a texture pack where there is still always going to be that scar. If you download an add-on that gives you portals between places, so you stop using nether portals, your world is going to be built around those portals. And there's an endless number of examples I could give of this. I would just say my advice to anyone with a long-term survival world is be very cautious about what you enable in your world, and also keep in mind this will only apply as of the spring drop. This is a beta preview snapshot video. It does not apply right now, something incredibly critical to learn. But yeah, otherwise, I think the spring drop would do better with some extra features in some way. I think that it feels like it's finishing very quickly, but that's actually a good thing. I think that a lot of people will say, yeah, there's only a few biomes they've updated, they haven't gotten the sheep in there, and there's lots of critical feedback, but I would ultimately say that the best thing about this update is it provides almost exclusively features people go, oh, that's awesome, and it does so in a very short time span where they can now go on to working on another theme. And so for people like me who go, yeah, ambience and, theming is nice, personally, I'm much more excited to see the next update, which hopefully they do call 1.22. Apparently Minecraft are thinking about their version numbering, so that's a good sign there. But anyway, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, and you like the idea of adding a bit of challenge to your Minecraft world, why not check out Boss Blitz? It's a great deal of fun in my opinion. Anyway, thank you and goodbye.